Hey you guys, this is Simone. I look a little rough today, kind of have a long day, been studying and things of that nature, but I'm just on debuting some of my work and I just look for some feedback, so to say. And this one is called the audio, so I will not be showing much of my face, but you will be able to hear me quite clearly. This is an iPhone, you know? Okay, but seriously. Okay. Alright, and this one is called the audio. Okay. 14-year-old runaway. Bus stop to bus stop, nowhere to stay. Nowhere safe for my head to lay. Of course I'm starving, but no money to pay. Pacing the Cleveland East Side city streets, getting laughed at by women, harassed by men like a piece of meat. But no one to blame but me. I walked out the door, I walked into the streets. Long story short, I met this nice guy. Well-dressed, pretty smile and eyes I thought couldn't lie. He said, "You look hungry, I got this rib spot we can try." Naive and starving, I followed this man. And from here is where my story began. We came to a stop on East 55th. He tells me it's okay to come in. I just need to pick up some money and shit. I followed him through the glass doors of the high-rise building. Hit the elevator button meanwhile I'm staring at the ceiling. We ride to floor 3, I believe. Hallway kind of dim, it was hard for me to see. So I followed his Anichi jacket and the sound of his keys. He opens the door and the two men sit on the couch. I remember scraping my arm against the door and letting out an ouch. The man with the pretty smile said, "You can have a seat. It's all right, little mama. We don't bite." I took a seat in a chair by the mid-sized television. Couldn't really hear BET because of the loud radio system. Choked by the thick smell of tobacco and weed at this point, my mind is telling me to leave. But the fear in me couldn't get my feet to lead. All of these thoughts running through my head, but I wasn't distracted enough to notice Pretty Smile guy was trying to get me in his bed. When refusing him was the biggest mistake I ever made, not knowing that my 14-year-old flesh he would take. Before I could open my mouth, I was being forced onto the teal and brown couch. I was fighting in hopes that I could win, but my 14-year-old strength was nothing to those three men. Right at that moment is where the audio begins. Two men hold me down while Pretty Smile hikes up my dress, whips off my underwear and exposes my chest. I let out a scream as he turned my flesh, but after 10 minutes of my body went into a paralyzed rest. I'm sorry. My tears stopped falling. For God, I stopped calling. My mind went numb. My body went limp. But I had enough in me to cover my ears, shielding the grunts and the slurs I could hear. My eyes closed tight. My head is getting light. Body was gone, but my mind could still fight. So I fought thinking about the blood between my legs. I fought thinking about being home in my bed. 37 minutes later, it was over. I stood to my feet looking back at all my blood on the cover. I was too scared of what would happen next, so I made a run for the door, barely covering my chest. I reached the building stairs for what felt like a lifetime. I stood there staring at the wall before I sunk into the corner and crawled into a ball, thinking God it was over. So I thought. I emphasized the word thought. Because every night after that, when I tried to dream, it was those three men I fought, tossing and turning, waking up screaming and sweating like my flesh was burning. Man, I'm telling you, my sanity was hard to keep. My action screen helped me, but my mouth wouldn't speak. Because at this point, my voice had become weak. I felt as if my words had no power. Because if they did it when I told them to let me go, someone would have stopped them. But maybe it was my fault. Maybe I had the ball and let it drop. Maybe I should have invested in a gun, because if I would have death popped it. These are the words that were haunting me and I couldn't stop it. So somewhere between the medical issues and the pregnancy, I dropped to my knees and for the first time I prayed. For the first time I ran to him in his arms, I stayed. Through the gardens of rebirth and forgiveness, I played and vowed to never again stray away. And because of that, I'm here to see another day, thanking God for allowing me to see 20 years of age, freeing me from the self-destructing cage, freeing me from all the hatred and rage, filling my soul with forgiveness and joy, being able to smile every day like a kid on Christmas holding their new favorite toy. I thought the day of the rape was the end of me, but now my eyes are open and I can see that the day of those hours, that day, that hours, those minutes are what made me. And for that I give the man upstairs all the glory. So I say, judge me on who I am. Don't judge me on my story.